What is up, y'all? Welcome back out to the bench in the backyard. My name is Jordan, and this is a Shimpaku Juniper. This is one I picked up down at Plant City Bonsai in Claremont, Georgia, last year in October on my way home from Weigert's. And I saw this tree. I saw the other tree that I repotted. Was that last week or the week before? It was earlier this week anyway. But you will see it either the last video or the video before that or sometime in the last week. But anyway, saw this one and noticed that literally all of the branches are coming basically from on one side of the tree, except this one curves over. So I thought, what if we lay it down like that and we have a nice little, which is nice, we should be able to get some decent movement into these, what'll be trunks when we turn this thing into a raft. So, first thing we're going to have to do about that is figuring out what we're wiring and where. I'll move y'all down, I'll get this set on its side, and we'll start looking at wiring just to see what's going to go where it goes. So I'll see you on this set. Alright, so this is probably going to be about the planting angle. I want it basically touching along here. I want the this center part of the trunk right here to be up above the soil where my fingers are, and then dive back down in. So we can either come to where this is in the soil, right up underneath this trunk. You can see it. I actually had to tie it to the bench or it would roll off. So it's going to be stuck in this position until I get done with the wiring. Shouldn't be too bad. We should be okay. So what we're going to have to do is figure out how we're going to wire this. I think what I'm going to do is when I tie it in, is I'm going to wire these two tied into the plant pot that I'm going to be using. I'm not actually using a plant pot. I didn't build a box. I actually bought a concrete mixing tub that I'm going to be using to put this in. Drilled a bunch of holes in it. It was like $8 at Lowe's. It's way cheaper than buying a bunch of wood to put it in. And I could, by drilling all the holes in the bottom, you'll see when we get to it. Turned it almost into an Anderson flat, but a really, really big one. So, we need to, I guess first, we'll start over here on this side, and we'll work our way to the other side. Alright, so up here, we're coming down here. That one we can pull towards the front. Really all I want to do is get stuff started to move. I don't have to move everything. Like this bottom trunk should be fine coming forward. We'll bring this over and around to the side. Bring this up as our first apex. So, if I can tie this one coming to the front together with this one, we should be alright. So we know we need to move this one out this way, which means we need to come in from this side. And what I'm trying to do is come in on this branch right at the shoulder. And by doing that, we're giving ourselves the best leverage to, as we move this out into your left, we will actually be able to keep it held there. Because that's where this wire wants to return. little crotch growth down here that we take out. I know you can barely see what I'm doing, and I apologize. And this one, we're going to carry up onto this branch right here. It's feeling super brittle. This may need to be an incremental move. Which could be alright. I might have... No, I think that's just the... Okay. We'll come back to this one. Give it a little bit of time to rest. This side, I may bring this one up more upright as that first trunk. If I can't move this one up, or if as I'm moving it up, it breaks. Trying to go as gingerly as I can. We're going to come back on it with another piece of wire. One is just not enough to do it. We get two of them on here. We should be all right. Especially just down here at the lower parts of the trunk. Just make sure we get all the foliage out of the way. I don't want to... Oh, I moved it a little bit. Hopefully y'all can see a little bit better. And this is 2 wraps of 6-gauge copper. What I did is I put about 1.5 wraps on the that back branch, and then I'm going to go ahead and carry this one all the way out to the top, or as far as I think I need it. Oh, that's much better. Yeah, 2 reps of 6-gauge is definitely what it needed. Oh, trying to do that with one, miserable. Be careful when you're bending here at the crotches, because that is where they are the weakest. So if you try and bend this branch too much, Well, first I need to set all my primaries. So back here, you can barely see that, can you? See if I can't get it. About right there. So this guy right here, this is going to be my tallest point on the tree. So I brought this up and around. This one we brought out and down. We'll probably swing this one down a little bit more when we get it in, and I can actually put a guy wire on here to kind of crank down on it. So next we need to move on to this next tree. So I've got, doesn't have a whole lot of foliage on it, which is fine. And what it does have is fairly long and leggy. But we can get on here, and we do have some down here low that we can grow out towards the back and use this as a back branch later. Or that, I'll probably use this one as a back branch as well. We'll bring this up and down, somewhere around in there. Up here I probably need 8. 8 is probably okay. We'll find out. I'm gonna get real mad when it's not, when I have to put a second turn on. I know it's fine for that. No, I think we're gonna stick with the 6. Alright, so my camera shut off there for a minute. I don't know how much y'all missed, but I can just do a quick recap. I got this, these first two, the first trunk is got structural wire on it. I haven't wired out any of the secondary or tertiary branches. But what we're doing right now is we're moving this one towards the front, and then we're going to swing it out to the right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a guy wire on this branch right here, and we'll bring it probably right around in here. This back branch is going to be my apex, and this should be the highest point on the tree. Again, the secondary and tertiary branches are not wired yet. I have got this next trunk. So I've got a gen right here down at the bottom, and then I've got a branch coming off the back side. Actually, 2 branches coming off the back side, and then this one over here at the top. I finally got this wired. What I have over here on this trunk is 2 wraps of 6 gauge. I don't have any 4. I don't know if I could bend 4. I guess if you have a long enough handle on it, you should be all right. But yeah, so now what I'm doing is trying to get some movement into this back branch to kind of suck it in here. I still want it to be the depth branch back here. Sorry, it's better to see. So the foliage is up here, and what I want to do is bring it down and nestle it in probably right around here. Not sure which direction yet, but we'll work on it. I do want to show y'all something. So as you are bending, you'll see you'll start to get some fractures here. I don't know if you can, let me see if I can. So right here, there is a little bit of the bark is starting to separate. If you can see that right there by my ring finger right there. That's about as far as I can twist, as I can get that moved around. I might be able to put a little bit of a twist on it and relieve some of that pressure. No, it's just opening up more cracks. So we'll move on up to here till I start getting some cracks there as well. It is just the outer bark though. So I may be okay to keep going. I did hear a crack. Should be all right. So now where I felt that crack, I'm going to hold there, use that as my next point of leverage. And then we're going to come back the other way. It's just part of this gin breaking off. I felt a pretty hefty snap, but it was just that gin. Alright, slipping down the 8 gauge for this next one. I'm going to be wiring this guy and this guy together. Back up to the 8 gauge, or 6 gauge, my bad. All right, now that we've got all our structure set, it's time to get this out of the pot and into the new container. Nope. All right, so the most important side of the root ball to get loosened up is going to be this side. We'll come in here. We'll scrape out the outside of this once we get done over here. But we want to minimize this side of the root ball as much as possible. So I'm going to come in here, starting at the top, work around the outside. And then once I get this side basically undercut, I'm going to start to work on getting these roots either completely exposing them and killing them off, which I don't want to do right away. I want to give it time to get roots expanded over here, as well as get roots up here on the trunk, so that we can start feeding up into these other branches. Alright, and so that's going to be about our soil line. It's going to be a little bit to the right of that, but I want to get as much over here dug out as I can. And those are just to show me a guide that if I get about to that point that I should stop. So, as you can see, drilled a bunch of holes right here on either side where the water is going to be, where most of the water is going to be coming from. And then again right here in the center, because when it presses out, there will be a good bit of liquid right there. Now, all right, so the aluminum's going to fit through any of these holes. I don't have to worry about that. So over here, 3/16, it's about the same size as a 6-gauge wire. I'm going to come over here. This will be the first time I've ever tried anything like this. I've never actually seen it done, but it makes sense to me, if that makes sense to you. So what I'm going to be doing, first thing I'm going to do, in one of those sets of holes that I just drilled, I've got one of my little short chopsticks. So we're going to take our little short chopstick. I'm going to take it Then we're going to do the same thing with our copper wire. And what this should do, like I said, I'm not sure. I've never seen it done. I've never done it before. But what this should do, especially since we've got this kind of soft plastic, it should spread the pressure of our tie down point across the whole area instead of right there where it's coming through the bottom. And hopefully, I should have done one on both sides. It should be fine. We'll see. Worst thing happens is it doesn't work and I have to come up with something else. We're going to put down a layer of soil. I'm going to take my grafting knife and then I'm going to make a couple of score marks pretty deep. I want to make sure that I get down to where I can actually see the white inner wood. So we're going all the way through the cambium, all the way through the xylem, down to the words. It'll come to me. I'm going to do that in a couple of spots. Right here. I'm not stripping everything because I do still want to be able to feed the tree for now. And eventually this is all going to root. So we'll have roots here. I'll have roots here. We want to make sure though that we get this bark done. And then we're going to do the same thing up here, except I am going to take a whole strip off because it's not going to be as big. All right, so we should get roots from here and here. So I've got 3 patches right down here, and then 1 patch way up here. All right, so we've got our center cone, and then we're going to come over here with our and then we just want to get around our 2 bamboo sticks. Before I get actually into finishing up this root ball, we're going to go ahead and quickly chopstick up underneath it, chopstick into the bottom of it, because what we're going to be doing up at the top, I've got a bucket filled with sphagnum moss, and so what I'm going to do is get that sphagnum moss loosely put onto the back side of this root ball. And then I'm going to come in with a scoop of soil. And then we're just going to chopstick this soil into the sphagnum moss. And what we're doing here is trying to condense these roots back here. Especially we're going to get another layer up here. We're going to try and force these roots to grow back down into the root ball. And that way we'll have basically this ridge of, it'll look like a root mass that has come up out of the soil, but it'll still be intact. And so just chopstick down into the sphagnum. Grab another handful. Pick that up in here underneath that root mass. All right, and so now we've got a little space right here underneath where we scarred the trunk, and then that little space right here. We're going to take a little bit more sphagnum, tuck that right up underneath where we actually pulled that bark off. Make sure we're directly up underneath it, coming up a little bit on both sides. And then up under here on the front, we'll do the same thing. Pack that in, and then we'll just go over the top of it with a little more soil. So a little bit here in the back. up here in the front. Where did I put my chopstick?
Not in the tub.
Huh?
Hope it's not in the tub.
I hope not. We'll chopstick a little bit of this soil into that sphagnum. That sphagnum's really there just to keep the area really moist, so that it'll promote root growth. Because what we really want is roots directly up underneath, especially up here at the front, or up at the top. Because that will help to feed these front trunks. I guess they're now trunks. They're no longer branches. I'm going to take this one branch off in the back. That'll give us another place for roots to form. So I'll throw a little bit of sphagnum right there where it was. Well, that was it was barred with this front trunk. And it would have caused us a little bit of problems later on. It looked fine now, but it could have led to problems in the future. All right, so now that we've got that done, we're going to tie in this front. And I'm using that copper wire that I fed up through the bottom. And because it's locked into that chopstick that got buried, we should be good on putting a little bit of movement in here. So again, this is 6-gauge copper wire. Make sure we're not trapping any foliage. That's one in. And we go ahead and get the second one. Again, working our way through this foliage. Trying not to crush any as we work our way out the trunk. Then from there, we're going to lift up. And this will get a lot better once we get into secondary and tertiary wiring. That's not going to be until at least the summer. We're going to have to work on density over here. It's super duper dense. I kind of want to thin it out a little bit. We can do that with some final tweaks. And this will move over here once we get to secondaries. This will probably come right into here. Or we could bring it up to kind of fill in with this pad. That Jen doesn't want to be a Jen. It's the second time I've broken it. Really what we're trying to do is let them each fight for their own little piece of the sky. We don't want to cover any of them up. And I think that's going to do it. We'll let this grow out for at least until July or August. Then we'll come in, prune back, get our secondary branches all wired and in the right direction. And we'll see how it does. Yeah. That's the first time I've ever done any tie down like this. Didn't know if it would work. It did not pull through the bottom of the container. So that's good. I'm gonna come back. I'll work a little bit more on this root ball back here. But y'all don't need to watch that. It's just gonna be more of packing it with sphagnum, packing it with soil, packing it with sphagnum, packing it with soil. And then I'll top dress the whole thing and put it out on the bench. And we'll see how it does for the next few months and revisit it either later this year or next year. So if you liked what you saw, go ahead, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff down below. If you didn't like it, leave a comment. Let me know what I'm doing wrong. Let me know how I can make my trees better, videos better, all of that fun stuff as well. I can't get any better at bonsai if you do not let me know what I'm doing wrong. So until the next time I see y'all out at the bench in the backyard, just remember to grow them big, but keep them small.